Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome back to another round of EFL Championship predictions. So this is one of those 3 rounds in a week coming to an end, and it's been 9 points up for grabs this week for all of the Championship teams. We have another full programme this weekend, but what a midweek we had from an interesting point of view. What happened? Well, I said, and I think I did in my little strap line that I do for these little clips, that Leeds feeling the heat. Well, everybody else turned the heat down. Leeds were the only winners in the top 7. Can you believe that? After Leeds dropping points in the last couple of weeks, dropping away 5 points, they were the only winners, only midweek winners, having a 2-0 win over Millwall to show for their efforts. And flip that all around, goodness me, we go to the bottom of the table, and 5 of the current bottom 7 won matches, including Plymouth Argyle winning their first away win of the season. They went down to Fratton Park. Leeds couldn't cope with that. Plymouth go there and win 2-1. Well, this is why this league is the most unpredictable but the most enjoyable and fun league to follow, I believe, in all the ones in English football. Certainly this season, it's got everything, and it's now really concertinaed everything up. Down at the bottom, it's really closed up, with Plymouth now only 3 points off getting out of the bottom 3 when they were looking a little bit in disarray once again. But they pulled it off down at Fratton Park on Wednesday night it was. Bit of a backs to the wall job in a way, but effective, and I think Paulson's feeling the effects of all the excitement and sort of carnival atmosphere of beating Leeds on Sunday. So that was a turn up, and Luton chalked up another win, and Derby beat in-form Coventry. So, you know, when Coventry just looked like they were just blazing and getting these wins to get them into the playoffs, and they've closed that up again. So great for Derby, great for everywhere in the league this midweek. I thought it's really sort of went against what everyone expected, I guess, or a lot of people expected, and there we are now looking at every game counting, every game, even the teams that were a little bit sort of feeling a little bit comfortable in mid-table will now be looking in their wing mirrors once again. I do like my wing mirrors. Looking in their wing mirrors once again at those sides now that just made a move. So this is it then, a weekend and before the international break. Always important to try and get that win or points on the board and have a sleep easy for 2 weeks. And some people and some teams certainly will not. So what have we got? Let's get stuck into it. 12 games, of course. First of those is on Friday night. The Friday night TV game is Bristol City against Norwich City. So my team involved, kicking us off at Ashton Gate. Yes, so Bristol City, I thought, I've criticised them a bit, as you know, as a fan this season. But they've certainly played extremely well at Sheffield United. On Tuesday evening, I think it was, and got a 1-1 draw. Well, all right, albeit a last gasp goal, 90th minute anyway. But I think overall it was when I've read of it and watched of some of the match as well, it was a fair result. They gave it a good showing at Sheffield United. Okay, Sheffield United a bit below par, and will be disappointed with 2 drop points. Nevertheless, a good point for Bristol City. Kept them in touch, and with Coventry losing, actually they gained something. So there we go. So they're playing Norwich City. Now Norwich sailing along at 2-0 up, and Sheffield Wednesday come back and beat them 3-2. So Norwich, as I say, they're always entertaining for and against goals-wise, and they're always entertaining to watch in the matches they're involved in. So this, I think, will be a really entertaining match at Ashton Gate. If there's anything to go with the last game and the lights down there on a Friday night when they beat Middlesbrough 2-1, it'll be a fabulous watch. I'm hoping it will be, and I'm hoping it will be for the home side, because this is it now. They really need to make a statement, get in the top 6, potentially for 2 weeks while we have the international break. So I'm going to take Bristol City to take this match by 3-1 and effectively put Norwich probably out of the playoff picture. So that's the incentive, to knock one of your rivals out of the sort of frame. Really, will they get it back with only 8 games to go after this? So Bristol City 3, Norwich City 1 is the Friday night game, in my opinion. Then we go to the only 2, check. 2 lunchtime games on the Saturday. First of those is Millwall against Stoke City. Millwall had a tough midweek task, didn't they? Against Leeds, who were desperate probably to get things back on track after dropping 5 points in 2 matches, which they did by winning 2-0, as I said at the top of the clip. And Stoke, again, I didn't mention Stoke in my little opening gambit, and they were another side sort of heading in the wrong direction, and they pulled off a win against Blackburn Rovers. So it's been a credible week for the teams near the bottom, getting points on the board and just making the whole picture look a whole different scene. Stoke winning them by 1-0, keeping a clean sheet, tick, and getting 3 points on the board, tick, for Mark Robbins, who was probably absolutely devastated at the weekend when they had that incredible last minute loss. Last kick of the match, I think it was, against Coventry. So I think this will be on as even down at the New Den, and I'm going to take Millwall 1, Stoke City 1. So Stoke to pick up another useful point at the bottom-ish. Now we have talking about teams in form. This is a team completely gone out of form again. Queen's Park Rangers, if you can have a graph of their season, it would be up and down and all over the place. Queen's Park Rangers have now lost 4 on the bounce, 5 of their last 6. Just when, as I say, just after Christmas, they were looking like they were making a bit of a fist of the playoffs, and now they're in a right old hole again, going in the wrong direction, while everybody else is starting to wake up a little bit down there. As I say, they're one of those teams in that comfort zone, but it won't be comfortable too much longer if they keep on getting poor results like they have done in recent weeks. But this is no easy one to try and remedy either. Queen's Park Rangers versus Leeds. I can't see anything else other than Leeds taking this one, going down there and flexing their muscles and getting the points. So I'm going to take, it's Queen's Park Rangers 0, Leeds United 2. That takes us to Blackburn Rovers and Cardiff City. Now Cardiff are in peril, because they were one of the sides not to take points at the bottom of the league midweek. As I said, five winners, 2 didn't. One of the 2 was Cardiff. And they have a tough one at Blackburn Rovers, who have just had a little bit of a real dodgy time themselves, and they find themselves in 9th place now, because we were talking about them hanging on to their playoff place. So that's how much they've slipped away a little bit now, and they're 4 points behind Coventry in 6th place. But I think Blackburn will probably get the 3 points here. Cardiff have just, as I say, I think I said last clip, not getting sort of pushed around too much, but they're just not getting points, and they need to do pretty soon. This weekend I think a step too far again for them. Blackburn 2, Cardiff City 1. Now we have on what could be a real crack of a match. Coventry City against Sunderland. Sunderland drawing with Preston midweek, which really has put them almost out of the automatic playoff places, I think. Automatic promotion places, I'm sorry. 8 points behind now, and there's will be only 8 games after this. That means you've got to get a point a game gained every match. So it becomes tricky when you get to that stage. So I think they're going to have to settle for the playoffs, but they are obviously one of a good playoff team. What I mean is their points total have almost guaranteed that already. So they are going to still are in form, Coventry, but they did slip up 2-0 to Derby and gave Derby their second win on the trot, back-to-back for Derby. And that was a bit of a surprise to me. I didn't predict that one for sure. I think this will be another tricky one for Coventry, and Sunderland come to that match, and I think that'll how it'll pan out. Honours even, stalemate, Coventry City 1, Sunderland 1. Then we have Luton Town. Luton Town have suddenly decided to wake up at last. Is it too late to save the day? It's going to make it very exciting if they continue to pick up points for all those around them, and I think they will in this match. They're on 34 points now. They've just sort of started to shake off, and they had a great 2-1 win down at Cardiff midweek. I think going a goal down, if I remember rightly, as well, to come back and win the match. So things starting to happen for Matt Bloomfield, hopefully. He's looked a forlorn figure. Well, he looked a forlorn figure a little bit, even though he'd only been in the job a few weeks or a few matches. So those 8 or 9 games, whatever it was, before he got a win, was really weighing him down, I think, if he was an honest assessment of that at the end of the season, I'm sure. Anyway, they are where they are now, 2 points away from safety, 2 points behind Cardiff, who are in the last safety spot, if you like. And I think Middlesbrough, although they had a decent win over QPR, as I say, QPR in a bit of a slump, Middlesbrough, you just can't quite ever tell what they're going to do at the moment, and I think Luton Town will have the bit between their teeth. I'm going to take a bit of a surprise one here. Luton Town 2, Middlesbrough 1. Now we have the other side in the bottom 7 that didn't pick up points midweek, and that's Oxford United. They went down 2-1 to Hull, which they'd be disappointed about. Again, I think they were 1-0 up and lost 2-1. Or certainly it was a drawing to the last minute, and then late on, and they lost. Watford, who their Oxford's opponents on this coming Saturday, had a routine or 1-0 win over Swansea. Couldn't pick a winner there, really, could you? You could have gone for either way for that one. But Watford it was, who took the points, and I think they'll take the points here at Oxford on Saturday. Oxford, as I say, just having a bit of a plummet again. Oh, not plummet, but they're just looking in the wrong direction, and they're certainly looking in their wing mirrors and any other interior mirrors as well at the moment, with teams coming up right, left and centre. So I think Oxford will go down here again at home. Oxford 1, Watford 2. Now on to Plymouth Argyle, who had their first and only opportunity so far, really, for a double. They did the double over Portsmouth, as I say, down at Fratton Park, winning 2-1. That's their first away win of the season. By implication, their only opportunity to do a double, which they did. They're up against Derby County, a little bit rejuvenated now. Derby will certainly head to the West Country this weekend. Very buoyant indeed. And I think that will show in their play. Perhaps there's now a little bit of confidence coming back into their squad and their players, and a bit of belief. And that's what you need at this stage of the season, is to believe you can get these points to get out of trouble. As I say, Derby only 1 point behind, only 4 points behind Oxford, Stoke, and then that comfort zone of Hull, Portsmouth, Swansea will still be worrying about these sides starting to get a grip of things. I think this will be a goals bout in this, but I think they'll be shared. I'm going to take Plymouth 2, Derby County 2. Can't split them. On to Preston North End against Portsmouth. Preston North End had a very good 1-1 draw. As I say, they just keep picking up points against the good sides, the middle sides. It doesn't matter at the moment. Preston are very tough nut to crack. Home or away, and not the side you really want to play when you desperately need points. Portsmouth don't desperately need points, but they've just got to be a bit careful, because we know what their away record is like. Very fragile, even in their good recovery, and that hasn't been great. They did only get I think it was a win at Oxford, and Oxford have shown to be a bit fragile themselves. So Portsmouth, I think, will be really keen to get somebody. They won't want to go into the international break effectively with a record of 3 defeats in 4. But that one duel was the win against Leeds. Incredible. Anyway, there we go then. I think Portsmouth will go down in a tough old game this. I'm just going to take Preston to be that tough nut and take the points. Preston North End 2, Portsmouth 1. 3 games left in this week's preview then, and we have Swansea against Burnley. And Burnley will be kicking themselves for not getting the, especially in a home match, admittedly against West Brom, never easy. They conceded a goal as well. And sometimes Burnley's lack of goals can, just come back to bite them, and it did in this match. Having said that, they've been scoring a few lately, but I think they'll go down to Swansea and they'll just have to get on with it and get these points done if they're going to really stay in contention. But Swansea, you never know. As I say, what do we get from Swansea? There's no pattern really to their performances. They are mid-table. They're probably good enough not to be drawn into this relegation mix. They've just got up 44. They need a few more points down. They get 50-51 is usually around about the first milestone to be safe. Not guaranteed, but that's what teams look at. So I think, but having said that, Burnley going to go down there, I think, do the job that they've been doing for most of the season. And Swansea City 1, Burnley 2. Takes us on to West Bromwich Albion and Hull, the final game listed for Saturday. West Bromwich Albion still clinging on to a playoff place, 56, but as I say, there's a bit of a queue forming behind. Watford, Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Bristol City all have eyes on West Brom and Coventry. The others are in the top four of the top four and gone as far as playoffs are concerned. So West Brom, I think, playing Hull City at home. Hull City sticking in for a few results. 40 points now, they probably shouldn't be in this position at all, really, given where they finished last season, but that's all history. They are where they are, but I think they're going to take a tumble this weekend, and I'm going to take West Brom to follow up their decent result up at Burnley, very decent result up at Burnley, and take the points by 2-0. Takes us on to the final game of the programme, which is on Sunday lunchtime, and what a feast it could be. Sheffield Wednesday, who have had 2 wins on the trot, won a comfortable 3-0 down at Plymouth last Saturday, and won an incredible 3-2 win over Norwich, having gone 2-0 down. So Sheffield Wednesday will be on a high after 2 very good away performances, 6 points, and what a way to go into the derby match against Sheffield United. It wasn't the best of games, if I recall, racking my brain a little bit, there's some grey matter out there somewhere still. I think it was a 1-0 win, if I'm right. I should have done some research on that, but I think it was a bit of an untidy derby game. I think there'll be a bit more now, both sides really having something to play for. Sheffield Wednesday, 5 points off the playoffs. They've suddenly, with those 2 wins, have catapulted them into an outside chance. You can't all have outside chances. There's only 2 places left, and there's about 6 or 7 teams trying to get in there, trying to take these places. But from just isolate this as a cracking Steel City derby, Sheffield United will want to put right the wrongs. Well, I say wrongs, but the points they dropped in midweek against Bristol City. I think all in all, Sheffield Wednesday will not want this one to go west. I think they will at least take a point off their neighbours, and I think there'll be some goals around. Let's hope for an early goal in these big games, in these derby games. It just relaxes everybody and just takes the shackles off the whole thing. I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday 2. Sheffield United 2, up at Hillsborough. What a cracking atmosphere that will be. I should certainly be picking up on that game on Sunday lunchtime. So there we have it. Yes, only 8 games to go when we come back in 2 weeks' time. That's then really will be every point to count, every goal to count, every minute to count almost after this. Game week 38, there we are. Have a great weekend, everybody. There's a lot of football to look at, a lot of reviews and great stuff on the channel as well. So please, as always, do like and subscribe. Get your friends and family involved, just to have a look at what's going on the channel. It is worth a few minutes of anyone's time. So there we go. That's it for me. I will be back reviewing, goodness knows what will happen over this weekend, and we'll have a look at what did happen sometime in the middle to late of next week. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy your football, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for looking in.